The final series of the regular season went a little sideways for the Lady Vols. They lost game 1 and got run-ruled by Texas A&M in the third game of the series. But despite dropping the final series of the regular season this weekend, will be remembered for a number of different reasons, such as the 5 seniors that were celebrated on Senior Day following game 3. And for Karen Weekly, the emotions and sentiment, it started early in the week by an otherwise passing moment with her first baseman, McKenna Gibson.
It's like Boo walked in today. And, she's like, hey, and I said, hi. And she stopped. She goes, what? You're looking at me weird. And I said, because I'm realizing this is the last week of regular season practice I'll ever get to experience with you. She goes, Karen, don't say that. Stop. Don't remind me. And I said, I know. And then we both acknowledged this is not the end for us. Like, we're going to be playing softball for a lot longer than just this week.
And McKenna Gibson's 4-year career at Tennessee, she's gone yard 43 times, placing her in the top 10 in program history. 10 of those Boo bombs have come this season. And while she was a little quiet at the plate this weekend series, she's an average 300 hitter. And while we didn't see much of that this weekend, she absolutely brought it when it comes to defense. She had a number of heads-up plays, whether diving at first to make the tag or saving and eliminating a number of runs at home plate. And it's that type of focus and that effort that she brings is something that Karen Weekly says she's been bringing all 4 years.
She's our steady Eddie. She's always going to show up. She's never going to take a play off. And, she'll come around the plate. Boo's had big hits for this team. And she tends to show up the biggest when you need it the most.
And one senior who absolutely shined this weekend, catcher Sophia Nugent. She absolutely had a time at the plate, drilling 3 home runs, a pair of them coming in game 2, helping to lift the Lady Vols to their only win this series. And then in game 3, she essentially said that she kind of just let it rip. And I think maybe what provided some extra juice for the catcher was knowing that behind her was a number of her family members who made the journey to Rocky Top. And when it comes to cheering her on during her collegiate career at Tennessee, it's a rare moment when all her family is able to journey to Rocky Top.
I think it did a little bit. It was really nice to have them there and to have them be able to watch me this week. Honestly, it just felt like it all came together, and it was just great to do in front of my family.
Those are just 2 of the 5 seniors celebrated on Saturday, and whether they've been there their whole career like Katie Taylor or just one like Kinsley Fieldler, head coach Karen Weekly says she feels indebted to them because of how they've each strengthened and improved the culture of the program.
Yeah, I told the team at the end, let's just focus on celebrating the seniors, because really that's what today's all about. And whether they've been here 4 years or 1 year, all 5 of those young women have invested their heart and soul into softball for these past 4 years. And we're the lucky beneficiaries that they've spent a part of their journey or all of their journey at Tennessee. They've been really good culture caretakers, and the culture here has been good. But to have,
even though Katie Taylor isn't always on the field, when she is, her presence is felt. And despite the series loss, she's a player Karen Weekly says she can always rely on to keep up the fight in those games. And then in her final at bat, it ended with a hit.
I thought it was so cool, for Katie especially, because Katie's had some huge moments in that uniform, and she will continue to. And she's just been such an amazing leader for us, even if she hasn't been on the field all the time. But for her to have that last at bat, and she ended her regular season career as a Lady Vol with a base hit, and that's pretty awesome.
For the seniors, knowing they were stepping out onto the field for the final time of the regular season is something they try to not put too much emphasis on. But Sophia Nugent says when she was finally able to embrace it, it was when they were walking back out on the field, arm in arm with their family.
I was just mainly just thankful for everything and just thinking of my family and how far they traveled, and all the coaching staff has done so much for me, and my teammates have done so much for me.
As far as the other seniors celebrated today, I have that video back on the homepage under the highlights section, so certainly give that a look. But knowing the horrible weather that we had this weekend and the number of Lady Vol fans that stuck it out in game 2, came back for an early game 3, Karen Weekly was certainly appreciative of those that were able to stay and help celebrate the seniors.
It was really neat the way the fans stuck around. So many fans still in the stands for the actual senior celebration, even though the rain was coming down by then. And I just thought it was nice for them to be able to come off the field together, and for the fans to, show them how much they appreciate them.
Now to the series itself, it ended up being kind of a disappointing weekend for the Lady Vols, but maybe what stands out most, especially in that Game 3, and knowing that if it was ace pitcher against ace pitcher, it might have gone differently. But despite maybe that hypothetical, what Karen Weekly says, really impressed her, what she leaves Sherry Parker Lee Stadium most proud of is knowing that her Lady Vols never stopped fighting in that game.
But I was really proud of the way our team handled it being down and then continued to handle it as, the score got a little bit higher. They never stopped fighting. They were in it 100%.
And now that the regular season portion of the season is complete, they turn their attention to the postseason, starting with the SEC tournament, where they have secured a top 4 seed, giving them a double bye ahead of the conference tournament. We'll have so much more coming up on the SEC tournament next week. We'll have more Tennessee baseball this weekend, so certainly make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the content. I'll talk to you guys later.